there was like Kundalini Yoga. So we were doing the Om Namo and the Kriya and the meditation. And then he was praying with the, the traditional Christian prayer. So and Catholic one. So we were doing the Notre Père, like our Father, and also for Mary. And then he had special prayer for our guardian angels. And so I was really like, what's all, does it all go together? How? So
he was a spiritual DJ at that moment.
Yeah. Then he gave me a sheet with all the lineage from the guru, from the Sikh gurus. So it was like a mix between Christianity, Rastafarians, and Sikh Dharma, all with a spiritual package.
Satnam, good day, good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Kundalini Awakening Podcast, From Karma to Dharma. And about that path, today I'm talking with Sat Pavan Singh. I met him last summer at the European Kundalini Yoga Festival. And he was actually one of the first people that I met. And the first person who ever made me like spirulina. I always thought it was such this supplement that didn't taste so nice, but he completely changed my opinion. And better than that, he even completely built a company around it and a lifestyle around it. So I thought this is a person I really want to get to know about. Welcome, Sat Pavan Singh.
Yeah, Satnam.
Satnam.
Nice meeting you.
Where are you calling us from?
I'm in Normandy, northwest part of France, just 2 hours from Paris, next to the coast. Yeah, I was just swimming today in the ocean. It was quite nice and refreshing.
Yeah, we went to your place. You are very near to the sea. You're surrounded full by nature. And when you come back from your yoga and your sea swimming, what do you drink in the morning?
In the morning, I like to drink either like herbal tea, but when I've more time, I do the juice, with carrots, ginger, and apples, for example, and some other nettles. And I like to mix that with our special potions with the spirulina, of course, and sometimes I do also a diet with birch sap, from the tree, yeah. So we do exactly. So either the fresh one or we do a fermented one, which is very good also. So I like also sometimes to mix them together.
Oh, wow. You being fed directly from nature. So I visited you, and I didn't know how your location looked like. I didn't know what you had built, but I was astonished. And before we talk about that, can you tell me, how did your life look like before you decided to build a company around spirulina? What were you busy with, and how was Kundalini playing a role?
Okay, so I can remember I went. So it's some years ago when I was like 18. Like at the teenage, I really like. I had to remove God from my belief system, because I was grown up in a Christian culture. and I was going to the church every week with my mother. And when I became teenage, I didn't feel comfortable with this, and I really wanted to put God far from myself. And but I was touched when I was traveling, let's say when I was 14 years old, by the Rastafarian culture and through Bob Marley music. So I first started to listen Bob Marley and listen it like 24/7. It was like all my life I was listening to Bob, then to reggae music in larger artists. And
And so sorry to break it, but what
yeah,
did that give you what you didn't have from going to the church? I mean, what was
it
the
was the spirit. I always I like the spirit in the church, but it was just I didn't make it my own, and I was like feeling like I'm a robot because I was built with this in me, and I wanted to make it my own because when it is all the purpose when you get in the teen age is like you want to feel this is your life, and sometimes it's in opposition with the parents' beliefs, and for me that was the case. So I had to go far to find myself in another culture. And also I was really at that time driven for Africa, and I was really feeling my heart going to Africa. So when I was 19 years old, I went to Africa for the first time in Togo, for a volunteer camp during 3 weeks. I was at that time taking care of children, for holidays, I like always to take care of children. So I was going there and I met a Rasta, and that day we always met every time I was going from the village to the town. So I went one day to ask him to go to pray with him, because for me it was like a pilgrimage to go back to go to Africa, and it was even going back for me in a way. And so he gave us an appointment. Okay, next Sunday you can come at 11 and we will practice together. So we dress in a bubu, a traditional wear, African dress, and we went there with my girlfriend at that time, and we started in a very small room to make yoga with him during 2.5 hours, sweating so much. It was 38 degrees, 80% humidity. So you do like 1 minute breath of fire and you are already sweat. It's like, it's like Bikram yoga, but natural one. So after that, I say, okay, I came for this. I want to do it again. So, and it was a mix. There was like Kundalini Yoga. So we were doing the Om Namo and the Kriya and the meditation. And then he was praying with the traditional Christian prayer. So and Catholic one. So we were doing the Notre Père, like our Father, and also for Mary. And then he had special prayer for our guardian angels. And so I was really like, what's all, does it all go together? How? So
he was
then,
a spiritual DJ at that moment.
yeah, then he gave me a sheet with all the lineage from the Sikh gurus. So it was like a mix between Christianity, Rastafarians, and Sikh Dharma, all with a spiritual package. But with African Rasta, that he was hardly speaking French, we were in a small room in his house. So it was kind of out of the frame. And from that day, I asked him when I can come back to practice. And he say, okay, if you want to come, I do sadhana in the morning. I say, okay, yes, I'm coming. What time? Okay, it's tomorrow morning at 4:30, you can come. So from that day, I came back, and every morning I was going to take care of of the children of the camp during the day, and in the morning I was going to the sadhana. And that was my last week in that town, in the village. Every day I was going to the sadhana, and I get my first flavors of Kundalini Yoga.
And can you go back to the moment when you said 4:30 in the morning? Yes, I'll do it. Why would you do that at 19 years of age?
Yeah, that's true. I was like, what? What? Why at that time? Because we did it at 11. The first day it was in the morning, but normal hour. He explained me that it was the time to rise with the whole world, with the singing of the birds, with everything before the sun is rising. You are already there, and you can enjoy it with the nature around. So, and that was also his only proposal. I say, I want to do more, and he say, okay, you can come in the morning. So it was not like a regular yoga teacher who have like schedule. So I was going part of his personal practice. And that touched me. And I was like 19 years old. So I always had the dream to meet a master. And so it became like my master at that time. After I had to unbuild the image of the master that I could idealize, but at that time it made me wake up at 4 and say, okay, I have no problem. I want to go there, and I want to be with my master. So I was going to bed at midnight because we finished late with the team to take care of the children. And after we had a meeting, and after that I was going to bed at midnight, and at 4 sharp I was motivated to go. And yeah, that was the start of the journey. So
Okay, and you came back to France, and what did you say to your family?
okay, that was, it lasted 1 week, and after this week I got the malaria, the disease. And I lost like 8 to 10 kilos in one night. Like
Wow.
from the two sides, I was like, so I came back a little bit shaken, because it was like, okay, I become vegetarian. I want to practice yoga. Okay, I lost 10 kilos, and I have to rebuild my life physically and in every aspect. So that was a big jump. So my family had, they already find something special in my choices, because, I wanted to go to Africa, and it was not that common at that time for teenage. And it has been a challenge, but at that time I was so determined, so motivated, that there was no question, no question. And I found a yoga class next to my high school. I was at that time, starting. In France, we have class for preparation to have engineering school. So it was a lot of work, and I was very dedicated to the study at that time. In fact, I shall go back a little bit. When I was a little bit younger, I was drinking and smoking a lot, and even dealing, selling marijuana or hashish, and that it was when I was 15 years old, and when I met the Rastafarians culture and a way of life, I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped drinking cigarettes. I stopped drinking coffee. And at that time, I was 14 or 15 years old. So I always like to make the mistakes, if we can call it mistakes, early and stop them early. So yeah, for me it was all together. So when I wanted to quit the cigarette, I knew that if I drink a beer, I want a cigarette, or if I drink a coffee, I want a cigarette. So I stopped the three together. And
At the
okay,
age of 15, around
yeah,
15. Wow. So
yeah.
you, wow. Okay.
So, and at that time, the Rasta spiritual path was helping me to see more. I want to have a wellness in my being, and I want to take care of my body. So when I stopped all these things, I put my energy into music. I was playing also some reggae music, drums, and also on the study. So I went to study, and one night it was a guy. I wanted to help Africa, and I thought like I will be a teacher. And the guy told me, but we don't need teacher. We have many teachers. So I asked, what you need then in Africa? And he told me we need engineers. So I said, okay, so let's make it. I am right now in a study that can make me engineer. So I will study. And it motivated me. So I was focused to study, and that helped me with the yoga also. When I went to Africa, I stopped to smoke the joints and marijuana, thanks to Kundalini Yoga, and from there, my life, was changed.
Okay, before we go to the change life, how the heck did Kundalini Yoga help you with stopping smoking joints?
In fact, I like the quote that I want to be high, but on my own supply. Is that I don't need anything to be in a certain state of mind and in a feeling to be high. And that I like the idea to make exercises that make you the same effect. And that in fact, what we look for in the drugs is something that we have completely natural in us, within us. And now I make a big jump, but just right now I'm a lot in the Wim Hof method, which is very interesting because it's there is a scientific research on this, and they found that with certain breathing methods you can just have the adrenaline, but also the opioid and the cannabinoid. They are stimulated and secreted by your own brain. So all we think is we need drugs to get it. We have it already inside, and now it's scientifically proven. And as I am scientist, I always like to combine the spirits and also the facts and figures. how we can survey and see how this is proven. So
And you just said you're going to make a big jump towards Wim Hof. How big is that jump? How long have you been on the Kundalini Yoga path?
So now I'm 45. So it's almost, I started in 1999. So on the other century. So
Yeah,
now it's
25
25
years.
years.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and it never, I never lost it. So just, sometime I have more distance and sometimes is really my daily routine. And there was like some breath I needed at some point of my life, but most of the time is to get it in a deeper way, or
Mm.
how to integrate it more in my being, not only my practice but also my being.
So you came back, you became an engineer, and with this engineering, you start to help Africa, right? That was the
If that was
intention.
the idea, but
That was the idea.
yeah, so I did the engineering. I specialized in renewable energy to bring energy to, let's say, developing countries. Then I started a PhD on renewable energy for rural electrification. And my goal was to go on site to see why most of the projects were not running efficiently or running at all. So I became nomadic during, I had 3 years of kind of 3 months places. I was staying every time 3 months in different part of the world. So it could be in Germany. I did my study also there, but it was also in Africa, in India, in Peru, in Jamaica, and at that time, so I was going on site to see the villages, why the renewable energy system were not working. So I was always on yeah it's like when you are 25 years old and you want to discover the world. So that was the way I found to discover the world and to go to be with people of so many culture, but to sleep on the floor with them and to eat what they eat and to live with them and to understand why the system were not working. So it was also kind of a very interesting frame. I had to see economical point of view, the human point of view, the technical point of view, and all that together, and the institutional point of view. So that was very, for me, it helped me a lot to understand the world and also to understand myself. And that was, I did many university, but the best university is the traveling.
Yeah, it's life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree. So during those travels, you were practicing Kundalini Yoga.
Yeah, since I did my teacher training in 2002, I started the level 1. And
Okay.
since that time, I gave a yoga class every week almost. So sometime I was giving class in my engineering school to the administrative people or to the other students. I went also. I was working in India in a community, and there I was giving Kundalini yoga class to the children or to the teenage. So it was like amazing, like the Western, the French guy who was giving a yoga class to the Indians. For me, it was quite funny. And
How
so
and what did they say about it? What did the Indians think of the teachings you shared?
For them, it was funny, but in a way, there are not so many. It was in the countryside, and there are not so many yoga teachers in the countryside of. It was in Kerala, in south. So it was a school, so they were open to give a class. Then it was not easy with the teenage because also, it was male and female together, but separate way. And they were in Kundalini yoga, for example, when we make frogs, it's something for teenagers in Indian culture. They cannot do it in the same place because it's too much. It's a movement which is not so much allowed. So after that was these cultural issues to deal with. And with the younger children, it was much easier because they have not so much filters. So they were going to their experience, and that it was very good, very nice.
And if you compare yourself in the time that you were, embracing the Rastafarian way, and then you switch over to Kundalini spirit.
In fact,
yeah,
I just to precise, I didn't switch. In fact, I integrated the Kundalini Yoga as a technology based on my belief system. So I was still, and I am still Rastafarian in a way. And just I believe that there is not enough practice, or I don't know it enough then maybe. But the practice of the Kundalini Yoga amplify and give more reality to something which is already there. And it's in Rasta for me, it was that touching, but in Christian and in other religion also. And even if you don't have any religion, it will give to your spirit more depth, more deep understanding.
So you embrace the Rastafarian spirit. Although I don't know exactly the difference or the characteristics of the Rastafarian spirit, but you use the Kundalini technology to deepen your connection and to really bring out what is deep within you.
Yes.
Mm.
And I must say also that I discovered that when I was in Jamaica, I discovered that the Rastafarians spirit and practice come also from the dialogue, from the meeting of the Hindus and the Sikhs from India, and the Africans and the English. All that in Arawak, in Amerindian island. So it's a mixture. And many things that I was already like sensible, like reincarnation, for example, or different things, karma, and also that is in Rasta.
Okay.
And the food also, it's basically Ital is vegetarian, and to eat as much fresh food as possible, not industrial food.
Okay. Wow.
And the
Okay.
meditation, and also the music, because for me the Rasta came through the music, and it helped me also to realize that we are all music instruments with ourselves or with other instruments. It helped me also to touch something within me and to spread it. So I had a reggae band, and then I always thought I'm not a singer until I met the Kundalini Yoga. And when I started in Africa, the Kundalini Yoga, my master Sewa, he told me, "Oh no, here we don't sing for singing well. We just sing for the benefits. So just sing, and you're gonna enjoy it." So I permit myself to sing. And by the repetition, and I loved singing, so by the repetition, my voice tuned. And after a while, the people say, "Oh, wow, you have a great voice." I say, "What?" I just sing for the benefit. Oh yeah, but let's share your benefits too. And
And
that
I also had that experience. I was kind of blocked to voice out my voice, but through mantra singing in the Kundalini Yoga, you go for the benefits, but without you knowing, you purify your voice. And all of
exactly.
a sudden, you start singing in front of class, right? I mean, people do. Beautiful. Hey, and what's your favorite mantra?
Ah,
Or
I
one
love
of your
many,
favorite?
and with my wife, we recorded one that you can listen to on all the platforms. You can write Sat Pavan and Navjivan, and there is the Gobinde Mukande, and this one I love it, and
Can you share to the world, whoever is listening, uh, why you love it and what it means?
yeah, I'm in processing still to learn more because I think it's a very deep mantra from our tradition. And right now, what I'm very sensitive is to give me the courage to be my own son. I mean, like Gobinde, there is the Bindu inside, and Bindu is like the sun in our system. Everything is going around the sun, and it is the center of our solar system. So is to be my own center of the solar system of my life, and with my wife as my moon, for example, and this is a way, and my children as planets, and I shall be then enough radiant, strong, and embodied to carry that through the life. So this the Gobinde, it's give me this, and Mukande is like the Kanda. The Kanda is like also for me the way to cut. So so the Bindu is like to make me strong and centered, and the Kanda helped me to give limits to this container. So, and this year I was working on these two aspects of this mantra. And in our school, a JLA Awakening, the 4 years are dedicated to that mantra. And we studied this two first part. And now I'm really like into trying to integrate in my life to be my own center and to put limits. Because as you saw, maybe since we started this podcast, my natural flow is to go in many, many directions, but is difficult for me to contain and to limit and to give a sharpness. So that is also what I love in that mantra. Kobinde mukande udare apare hariang karyang nirname akame.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful mantra.
And I love to give a reggae groove in the mantra because we
Oh,
don't have so many. And
I'll make sure I put a link beneath this podcast for you.
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I'd love to hear it. And so all these years, so you were a Kundalini Yoga teacher. You just told us about a Kundalini Yoga school.
yeah.
4 years of school. What do you mean with this 4 years?
No, this is like, in fact, I did the teacher training with Karta Singh in France at that time. And then in 2018, I started to do the path of becoming trainer for teacher training in the Kundalini Awakening School, which is the international school of Kundalini Yoga. And every year they do like special teachings for the year. And we started this year for a new cycle. Like the year before, it was Ganpati, the Ganpati mantra. And okay, so we explore different aspects. And this year we were in the Gobinde Mukande.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
And what does it do to you to not only practice Kundalini Yoga, but also to teach it and to train other teachers?
There was a different phase. There are some time I was very excited into it. Sometime I was questioning myself, why am I doing this still? And right now I am in a special time that I must say, with the allegation and all the things. In fact, when there was the crisis in the Kundalini Yoga Sangat like a couple of years ago, for me it was like, okay, I don't care what Yogi Bhajan did is not good for the victims. So at this I'm compassionate for them, but I care for the teachings. So this was my focus. And in a way, I kept a little bit far all this message. And as I never met Yogi Bhajan, also it's easier because I don't have personal connection with him. And when I read the book from Premka a couple of months ago, this it has shaken me. It's like, okay, I can keep the teachings, but I can also embrace the reality, which all the teachings and our organization and what happened there. So this made me some distance in a way with the ideal view that I was still nourishing. And that through the weekly classes, but weekly classes, we don't go very deep. So it's easy to make the Kriya and to keep the spirit. But when we are in trainings, we shall speak about all this. We shall acknowledge where we are as person, as a school, as a Sangat, the community, and that somebody who will become a teacher for Kundalini Yoga, if we don't speak about the shadow of the Kundalini Yoga lineage or the history, it will come one day, and the teacher will say, okay, I did a teacher training and we didn't speak about this. That is not fair. That is not right. So we always included some debate, or at least speaking circle about that topics. And so I needed to adjust my alignment, and it is still in process, I must admit. So right now I am also with a little distance with even my own Kundalini Yoga practice, and I still practice, but not as before. And it's like I'm moving. I digest in a way what I put it on the side. So now I need to digest it. And I really don't know how it will come out, how it will, but I really believe that it will give some understanding and a better openness to see also the reality with more consciousness. Am I clear?
For me, you are clear. I
Yeah,
believe it's about transparency. It's
yeah,
about allowing everybody to have their own feelings and experience through this process. Um, and I also trust that process that uh, uh, when I go back to Yogi Bhajan's teachings, he never said that he is the teacher, that we would all become the teachers and even more powerful than him. And so it's a time of us to listen deeply to ourselves and feel how we can step into our own center, as you say.
yeah.
And also doing that by processing what has happened. And for me personally, um, I translate that through being humble to the teachings that have been passed on. They are not mine as a teacher. We pass them on to help the other find themselves and find their own sovereignty. I
Yes.
think that's the word. Instead of using its power, thinking it's our power, but in the end, we will learn that power, too much power, only corrupts and is very addictive.
Mm.
Um, and I guess that's also the spirit of this podcast. We don't try to put anybody on top.
Yeah.
Your story, as any other story, has as much value to inspire the world. And yeah, we are going through that together in our own way.
Mm.
Hmm. Hey, I want to touch a little bit. There's another podcast coming. There will be a different subject, but let's talk about that a little bit. I
Yes.
got amazed. I really got amazed when I got to understand how you build your vision about a new kind of company that could contribute to humanity, to Earth, but also in terms of economics, into a new kind of agriculture. Um, Very
Okay.
amazed. Could you tell us about how you came to build your vision of Akal Foods as a company?
Yes. Then I come back to the journey of how to I became entrepreneur. Uh, in fact, I started with NGO world. When I was in Africa, I received so much then with the yoga, but also the human experience, and to be in such a different environment. It's made me find my own path. So I wanted to give back, and I started to create a NGO. So when I was about the 2021, I created one plus second there with the Togolese people. So we worked together, and then there was another NGO and a second. We were three NGOs in France and one in Africa, and I became a professional of making a file proposal to ask subsidies or also to make a business. We were buying like sculpture, wood sculpture, or also like food, and also like different kind of thing. And we started like fair trade, but it was like in 2000, and and this gave me the flavor and the experience to make my first business. And it was not for my own purpose, it was for the benefit of others. And at that time that gave me the fuel to make it. Otherwise I'm not sure I would do it the same way. So I was traveling everywhere to sell the stuff, to speak about the project, and between in front of 500 people or in front of one person to sell just something for 10 euro. It was the same. So I was repeating the same things, and why I wanted to help the people there. And how valuable was that the people they didn't know how they will eat the next week, but they had much more like happiness or joyfulness in their daily life. So when I went to Togo like 10 times. So when I speak the language there, and I stay like 2 weeks before seeing the first white man. During 2 weeks, I was only with Africans and blacks. And as there was no mirrors so much there, so I didn't see any white, even myself. And when I met a white person after, it was completely strange for me, because I couldn't, it was like if I thought I was black, but I was not. So, and it was a mirror that how we come in the society most of the time there by being the knowers. We know and we need to help. We will bring money. And I learned the other way then, how I want to be there, but not to help, but in the same way, because there is need, I want also to help. So they were helping me in a way on certain layers, and I was helping them in materialistic layers, but in a way it was exchange. So that was my background as entrepreneur during maybe 7 years. I did that very dedicated. And then I started to see that I want to create something here. And I was very tired to ask the Africans, why you don't want to stay in your country? You have some beautiful thing. You can, you see, you have the mango, the banana, you have many good stuff, and you spend your whole life thinking that you will go to Europe or USA, and you just walk the wrong path. If you go there, okay, go there and make your life, and this is a new experience. But if you don't go there and you still think every day that you want to go there, it's like you don't live your life nowhere, not there and not in Europe either. So I was tired to say that. So I came back in 2007, and I said to myself, but where is your village? You say always, why do you want to go out of your village? And I grew up next to Paris, but I never felt that was my village. And in Normandy, I was going there from my childhood, and I felt like that was my village. So at that time in 2007, I said, okay, I will start a business, because I was also like tired of NGOs. I wanted to admit that I want to earn money and to be self-sustainable, and I don't want to live on subsidies or on NGO contracts. So I started this new project, and I had the idea to combine the biogas. So because I was in the renewable energy field, to combine the biogas and the spirulina. So that we will go a little bit more in the podcast dedicated for the spirulina. But in the same time, the Kundalini Yoga path show me that spiritual is not putting aside the business. So as I saw the example of Yogiti, for example, and Atmati in France, it inspired me. And in fact, even Atma Singh gave me trainings for Dharmic business school to raise the business, but with the frame of the yoga, and using that as a container to grow spiritually, humanly, economically, and so on. So that's how it came.
So what does it mean, a dharmic business?
In fact, karma is when you go to always be, you are like in a flipper, you are the ball, and the flipper is like moving you, and you think you do a movement, but you are not really in tune with the movement, and the life shake you in many sense. And Dharma is more like you are aligned with yourself. So maybe the life will shake you also, but you go with the flow of the shaken. And then you can learn more, you can enjoy it more, the journey. So I must say that I thought many times I was in my Dharma, and I see that I have still karma in the Dharma. It's like the yin yang. It's not like, okay, now I removed my karma and I'm fully in the Dharma. At least I don't know that that state yet, but it's a mixture.
Wouldn't it be boring just to be in perfect flow with life and just to know exactly what you're contributing to be part of this big whole and serving the big whole, which is dharmic, right? And that you never have this challenge of karma. It's just this all these old patterns of your ancestors giving to you, and that you don't have the challenges of getting out of these limitations. For me, karma is like the path to realize, hey, I've got limitations. They've been given to me by uprising, but I can overcome them. and
Mm,
and the moment of overcoming these limitations is the realization of yoga, right?
mm,
I am more than I think I am. I unite a bit with the infinite within me. So I honestly think it's beautiful to become more conscious of karma, and even maybe grateful for it, because it teaches us so much to overcome and find our own piece of boundlessness, yeah, without
mm.
boundaries, right? And that's what really inspired me when I saw how you built up your company. In a way, we're doing the same, right? In the Kundalini Yoga Club, we
Yeah,
also a very dharmic company. Well, it's not meant as a company, but it should be run as a company, as a self-sustainable company, right?
yeah.
So important. And in the Kundalini, we know this. We sustain ourselves. We um, uh, enlighten ourselves from our own light. We light up. And how I saw you making spirulina and contributing to the health of humanity, but also making your business on a piece of land which is considered not to be valuable by the community and the local community
Mm,
governance, and also creating jobs.
mm,
And you take CO2 out of the atmosphere.
mm.
I thought that was just beautiful. So if you want to learn more about that, listen to the next podcast.
Yes, that's the point.
Hey,
But
and
just I
let's
wanted
yeah,
to
go
add
on.
something is
Yeah.
for a- as you said, when I started yoga, I started to see the karma, and I wanted to be more in my dharma. But in a way, I saw also I see now that also the Kundalini yoga is a box, and I really embrace the way of life, wearing turbans. It took years after doing it, and especially I live in countryside, so there is not so many Indian Sikhs, so it's not known. Now it's more than 10 years I wearing the turban and the beard, so it was a challenge at some time. And it became for me my Dharma. But in a way, today I see that in a way it's also a box, and it's also make and nourish my karmic dynamic. And I had to go out of that box to see that, and to do it in another way. I don't know if it's clear, but for me the Dharma is also to go out of the box, to embrace your choice in another way, as
For
you
me,
say, for the boundless.
yes, yes, yes. Because we are boundless spirits. I believe that, and life will give you the challenge you need to realize that. And for you, maybe it meant. I mean, I had the beard, and I have it the turban for a while, but I just felt it didn't serve me in the way I could connect to community. It was putting a border between me and community, actually, because there was always this question, this weird, this judgment, and I'd made for myself the decision that's not something this is not a battle I need to win or need to be in. So
And
I understand you very, very
but
well.
in a way, nowadays I'm not questioning my turban and my beard as a, as you say, like as a wall. It doesn't, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel it make more distance with the people, but it make sometime deeper connection with some people, because it's like a filter. If there are some people that they have too much judgment about how I am, they won't speak to me. But in a way, I'm not so interested in, if they don't want to hear who I am, and not only the face. I don't care. So it's practice. It's practical in a way, because it may filter the people who are able to speak truly to me. And in the same time, it's also helped me to, because I always wanted to be welcome, or to be loved as I am. And if I remove it, I'm sure that the people will love me better. But is it the seed I want to water right now?
That's a very conscious question. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So last thing I wanted to share then, last year, because after this questioning, I wanted to go out of the box, and I went to a gathering, a men gathering. We were like 150 men. It's called Sacred Sons. I don't know if you know. And from all over the world during 4 days. And we had like some psychological, emotional practice. And also sometimes we cry, sometimes we fight. And the other quote is "men sharpen men." And it's like traditionally, the man and the woman had special time for themselves to be together and to grow together as a community inside the bigger community. And for me, it's very valuable, because the time I spend with men, I can relate to something that are unnourished or not nourished enough in our society. because now there is even not gender. So to put men together is like, oh no, but you are not a man or you're not a woman. Yeah, but okay, if you are feel a man, come. Even if you are a woman, but now we are like, we want to value the man side of our psyche and our being. And by being like the 4 days there, I really embrace that feeling to be with men. And I started Muay Thai, the box Thai, since 1 year, and I really enjoy to go once a week, and it changed me a lot compared to the yoga sessions. And sometimes I break some. I had not break, but some. It's yeah. It make me feel my body and pain in my body, but in a way I really feel it helped me to grow as a man. And also in the Wim Hof community, there are a lot of, in yoga we are more like with 80% women, and in the Wim Hof community is more 75% of men. So it's like a lot of men gathering also in a way. So I think we have cycles in life, and right now I am in a cycle. I need to explore that aspect, and I want to help my masculinity side, and also to be able to help other men. And because I really believe that our world needs men who are men, and not only like androgenic personality. We
What
have
do you mean?
both.
What does it mean to really be men to man for you then?
For me is to accept the side which is a lot of verticality, and a lot of the Gobinde Mukande, in the Gobinde, like to be the center. And also, we are right now in work in progress in our family, because my wife is has a lot of authority, and natural personality is very strong. So in a way, she was holding the masculine polarity of the couple, but it doesn't make her happy. And it's like she's doing that, and me, I'm not holding the space, because maybe I'm a second children and she's the first elder sister. So she has the place naturally to take the spot. But in a way, now we are trying to figure out how we can manage our polarity in a different way. And it's not easy, but to be a man is also to take responsibility, is also to it makes sounds like really old school, but in a way it's to defend the family, and to support the family, and to take also the verticality aspect of the household.
I don't understand that verticality aspect. Can you maybe explain that differently for the listener?
Yes, of course. This is the cross, the Christian cross. The verticality make me feel who I am, the connection to the earth, the connection to the sky, and this like a tree, and that can expand from this. And from this verticality, then the expansion can be horizontal. And the horizontality take care and make a shelter, and can be relaxed. So it's the inhale and the exhale. It's the nose and the mouth. It's like we can find many ways to give images, but we have all these two aspects, of course, in ourselves. So I am a man, I am a woman, and in a way, I want to embody my man because I was born as a man, and I feel that it's a challenge for me to be a man. And for me, it's easier to serve and to make different things, to take care of the children in a way. But I feel that it's not my place after a while. I have something else to be and to give to the world, and to build. And this is a real challenge for me to yeah, to work on my verticality, my grounding, and my divinity.
I think I know what you're saying. Yes.
And
Um,
with children, we are challenged for that because they need both. They need both aspects.
yeah.
So if I'm alone, I need to embrace the two aspects.
Yeah.
When I'm with my wife, if we embrace both the two aspects, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. They don't have borders. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they play with they are so good for this.
They
And
are
then
our teachers.
we
Bless
become
them.
mad.
Yes. Bless them, our teachers. Hmm. Well, thank you for sharing your super interesting path. It sounds like you are continuously reinventing yourself. And
Yes.
it's beautiful to see that you've embraced Rastafarian spirit, Kundalini Yoga, and now experiencing other toolboxes that can enhance your masculinity within you. Um, but I would like to let you know that the business that you've set up as a dharmic business is a sign of very beautiful masculinity, how it can be. Because you set up something that's a company that's sustainable and that can serve the planet, the people. So that in its own is quite a vertical project because you had to realize that you could do that and then you would expand. So just giving that back to you that
I
yes, it's a challenge for you, but I,
I
as an outsider, can say it differently. I can say, wow, you've done that already all these years. You fought through that hardship and you built that company. That's amazing.
now I'm 45, so I'm also in the 40 crisis, and as I am in a turning point. So in the company, I'm still the CEO, and I go every week to work there, but I'm starting also a new project with the Wim Hof method, and I want also to coach the people. That's also how I resonate with the with you and Guru Gyan also. Your proposal with the Kundalini coaching, and I may do it with you next year. But I believe now, from the background and what I did, I want to accompany a man and woman with the Wim Hof method, of course, because I really believe is very simple and it's not dogmatic, or it's connected to no religion. So because Kundalini Yoga is such rich path, but in the same time, it is so rich that it is very connected to many traditions, and it make it not so easy for some people to grab the experience and to go then. So I really believe it's nice to have different tools, and especially from my background, I had a double hernia, and I could not sleep anymore during more than 1 month. It became a nightmare, and we just got our second daughter at that time, and it's by I went to the IRM MRI, and they said, okay, you have double hernia, you cannot walk anymore. You take an appointment for the surgery, and the appointment was 3 months later. And I say, okay, come on, how I can live with this during 3 months? And there are no options, no solutions. So I went just to a friend who was giving a workshop about the Wim Hof method and how the cold. And when he said the cold is anti let's say in English, um, like anti-inflammatory, you know. So I kept that in mind, and he said, okay, stay 1 minute per degree in the water, and you'll see the benefit. I say, okay, I will do it. And the next day I was with the telephone looking for some water, natural water, and I was going anywhere, but I was putting my ass in the water every day for 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And after 1 week, 10, let's say 10 days, I had no pain anymore, nothing anymore. So that's how I value it, because the Ishnan, you know, our traditional cold shower, I love it. I do it every day, but it's like, for me, it's 20, 25 years I'm doing it. And it has not the same benefit effect for when you have inflammation. So it's how I started that journey, and now I really feel the breath work also is also something very valuable, and it may be a very good door to go deeper. And because I feel like the Kundalini Yoga is very like not like a surgery, but a yogic surgery, because it's very precise, all the meditation we got. And on the other side, like Wim Hof method is very wide range, and the benefits are really also holistic. So I really want to see how I may combine both.
Beautiful.
Satnam.
Satnam. Well, I wish you a beautiful experience in combining or inventing yourself, leveling up yourself with that, because I enjoy the cold bath too very much. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping us from having multiple toolboxes, right?
Yeah, and I love one quote is your winter a summer. You know, right now it's winter, and all the people when I met is like, oh, it's cold, oh, we cannot go out. Oh. And now sometimes if it's sunny, I will go in short without anything on the top, and I will just embrace the sun with the cold as a sensation, and not as something which is like a pain or good or bad, but just, okay, there is a sensation of cold, so I can welcome it and I can embrace it, and then my body is not getting too much trouble when it's cold. And when I go to the sea this morning, it was like 9 degrees in the sea. I stay like 10 minutes. It was awesome. And then my body, it took me like half an hour to come back to a normal state. But I feel the dopamine, the endorphin, all the adrenaline. It's all hormones which help to be focused and to be happy, healthy, strong. So all this is very valuable, and it's just we have the chance to live in cold place. And before I always wanted to be in Africa, and now I can value that when the winter is coming. It's not like, oh, winter is coming. Like, okay, winter is coming. It will refresh me. It will help me to feel alive. And that is a challenge, but it's also like a blessing. And so make your winter a summer. It's
Thank
not
you for
from me.
that. Yeah, but thank you for that blessing. Let's end with that. Thank you for sharing your wealth of experience. And I look forward to talk to you about your business in the other podcast.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. Satnam.
But,
Okay.